Lastly, I'm going to show you how you can add a pie chart to the worksheet. This is something that I think goes a long way to show your potential employers and other people your skills with Microsoft Excel, and it's definitely something that's not hard when you learn how to do it. So let me walk you through the process. In this particular spreadsheet, we're going to want the pie chart to be based off of column A here, the different types of expenses, and column N, the total. So I select both, and next I go up to Insert, and then under Insert you can see we have a chart icon here. And I can go down to 3D pie chart, and there it is. It just built the chart. Now I can hit this button to modify the style. In this case, for this assignment, we want style 5. If you hover over it, it'll show you style 5 is the one I want. And then lastly, I can triple click the title, and I can adjust the title for my chart. Now, to get that in as a part of the spreadsheet, I hit the Move Chart button under the Design tab, and then I type in a name for it under New Sheet. And chart. And then I'm going to click OK. And so now you can see it's a separate tab within this same spreadsheet. Monthly finances, and then monthly expense chart. Pretty simple, huh? Okay, so the next thing we're going to work on is the formulas that Microsoft Excel has available. This is really the heart of this tool, the ability to calculate formulas across a spreadsheet. This is one of your assignments here. It's a payroll scenario. So I've got my spreadsheet here, and what I'm going to do is demonstrate how we can calculate multiple things across the spreadsheet, and based on hard-coded values and values that are dependent upon other cells in the spreadsheet. So in this scenario, you can see we have gross pay for each employee, the federal tax, the state tax, the tax percentage, and the net pay. So let's begin by going up here, and under the gross pay cell, I'm going to type an equal sign here, and I'm going to then derive the gross by saying I want D4 times cell D4 times E4, and then enter. D4 times E4, enter. Now I've got my gross pay there. The next cell to the right, I'm going to compute federal tax. Once again, I'm going to type in an equal sign here, and to get the federal tax, I need to use the percentage of tax, 0.22, and it's just going to use algebraic order, so times left paren, so that times my gross gives me my taxable wages, but then I need to reduce that by dependents, so I'm going to minus the two dependents times the rate for dependents, so times 24.3, and then 2, and then I'm going to put a paren there, and I'm going to hit enter. Now I've got my federal tax. State tax, once again, I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to put in an equal sign. You can do it either in the cell or up at the top. 0.04 times, that's my percentage, times the gross pay. And then for tax percentage, the percentage of the tax on this employee, I'm going to use an equal sign. And I'm going to say I want the federal tax plus, I type a plus there, the state tax, and then I'm going to go up here, I'm going to put that in parentheses because I want that result. Divided by the total gross wages, gives me my percentage of the tax. And then finally, net pay, gross minus all deductions, is going to be equal sign. So there's my gross. Now minus sign, left paren, federal tax, plus state tax. And then a right paren and enter. And then there's my columns. And now if I want to populate that, I don't have to do it all over again. I just grab the corner and bring it down as we saw in the previous slide. And then it applies that rule to all of these cells for every employee. The next thing I want to cover with you guys is how you can apply conditional formatting. So in some cases, you'll find in a spreadsheet the need to highlight particular values based on the data that's in that cell. So if something crosses a certain threshold, if you're going over your budget, for example, your personal budget, you want to highlight that cell in red, then when it hits a certain amount, we can do that kind of thing. And that's what I'm going to walk you through here. Here's the steps, but I'm going to give you the actual, we'll walk through it together here. So in this example, we're going to use a scenario of going over a certain number of hours. So I select the hours and go into conditional formatting, and then I go down to new rule. And then under here, I want to say format only cells that contain, so the cells that I want to format are cells that contain a cell value. In this case, we want to say greater than. So I want to format those cells when they're greater than. And the assignment calls for you to say greater than 72. Now we get to specify what the format should look like. So I click the format button if that happens. And in my case, we're going to use a blue. And then for the font, I want to use the color. We'll put a white on there so it gives it a nice white appearance against the blue background. And then I'm going to go ahead and say OK. And then I can click OK here on this window. And now instantly you can see the ones above 72 are blue. And if I adjust this and make it 72, it turns it to white. So 72 and less is white, and above 72 turns blue.